Located at 1000 West Buena Vista Drive in the Walt Disney World bubble, we stayed at Coronado Springs. Hey folks, welcome to the Down the Road Travel Channel. My name is Will Van Winkle. We purchased annual passes back in September of 2024 and decided we would make a few weekend trips to Disney World in Orlando. The first trip was a very short notice, so flights were out because they were way too expensive. And the RV takes a little longer to drive down there, even if we aren't towing the Maverick behind us. With the Maveric's only rated to go 65 miles an hour, being towed, obviously. And the RV is just, a big shoebox on wheels, so it doesn't get the best gas mileage and it doesn't get the best speeds. So we decided we would drive and stay at a hotel as a trade-off rather than stay at the campground. Of course, my wife wanted early park entry, so Walt Disney World Resort was definitely preferred. After looking at rates, we decided to stay at Coronado Springs. With it being off-peak season, we had a 30% discount as annual pass holders, saving us a grand total of about $100 after taxes. So we got there about 5:30 in the evening, checked in online. Now we thought since we had already checked in, we'd just be able to use our magic bands and go into any entrance, cruise on past any formalities. We were wrong here. The first time you enter, you have to go through the security booth. So we turned around. Luckily, no one pulled up behind us and went through the security booth. After going through security and finding a parking space somewhat close to our building, we noted where the bus stops were. We didn't touch the car the rest of the weekend. I have heard people complain about how far the buses stop from the rooms, and Coronado Springs has about 4 or 5 stops within the complex. So they really weren't that far, in my opinion. We're in building number 4, near to building 5, and the bus stop was directly in between the two buildings, so it worked out very well for us. Even at the sprawling Fort Wilderness, I don't personally feel the bus stops are that far apart. Granted, you're walking an average of about 10 miles a day at any of the Disney parks, and any extra walking does feel like a marathon, so I get it. But to me, the convenience far outweighs any drawbacks. In fact, we didn't even look up departure times. We just kind of winged it, which is unusual for my wife when it comes to Disney. And we got lucky most of the times with when the buses came. Now, this being an anniversary trip, I ordered flowers to the room for my wife, Dana, which you can do by visiting magicalfloralandgifts.com or calling 888-814-8718. I will say the prices can be a bit high, but the reaction you get when you walk in the room and the bouquet or other surprise is there waiting is well worth the cost. The ones I ordered Dana were there when we walked in the room, so it worked out perfectly. Prices look like they start at around the $75 range and go up to just under a heart attack from there. So walking from the car to the room, the grounds were clean, well laid out, easy to navigate, very inviting. There's a pretty fountain.
Ooh, that's pretty.
Ooh, that's pretty.
Stop making fun of me.
I'm not making fun of you.
You kind of are,
We dropped off our luggage, which was just a couple of backpacks, and headed out to Epcot. Honestly, with it being just a couple of backpacks, we could have gone straight to the park. I wanted to make sure the flowers were there, and I didn't want to be burdened with extra stuff like, extra clothes or anything like that. Just, anything you're carrying is extra weight on your back, and you kind of want to get rid of that wherever you can. We did just barely make the bus, so again, we got lucky with those buses. After our evening at Epcot, we looked around at the hotel a little bit, and we discovered we were in the Three Amigos room, which is one of Dana's favorite classic Epcot rides. Show me where the river flows, running circles around my dreams. Oh, baby, come with me. Give it to me one time. So very nice coincidence for an anniversary trip. The rooms had a small coffee station on the dresser and our names on the TV, and then the Hey Mickey device, which can be disabled if you're worrying about accidentally calling the front desk or making another reservation. I'm not sure if it's Hey Mickey or Disney. I hope it's Disney, otherwise very bad flashbacks of a 1980s song by Tony Basil. Glass shower doors on a minimal step shower. It's not quite a 0 step. There is a little bit of a step up. Keep water from running onto the floor, but most people, even with mobility issues, should be able to navigate that shower fairly easy. It has 2 shower heads in there, included soaps, conditioners, plenty of towels. There were actually even more in the washroom area, and of course, the most important feature, right there. In the washroom, there were 2 sinks, which is nice because, if you've got one person that does makeup and gets makeup all over everything and you hate that, then you can use the other sink. If you're the type of person that shaves and you leave your shavings in the sink and the other person hates that, they can use the other sink, and it just works out really well that you have 2 sinks there. That way there's no arguing. Plus, if you have room filled to capacity and you've got 4 people trying to get ready, the extra sink does make it easier to get ready and get out of there and get to that early park entry before you miss, you don't want to get there at rope drop with the peasants that didn't stay on Disney properties. So aside from the double sinks, there was a wardrobe with extra pillows and blankets. The washroom could be separated with a sliding farmhouse style door, which do serve to save space, but don't do much to keep out noise. So if you're like I was when my kids were little, I didn't want to leave the room when I was trying to get them to sleep, but I wasn't ready to go to sleep myself. I'd usually hide out in the washroom area. So if you're that kind of person and you're trying to hide from the kids so that they can get to sleep because any noise or movement or whatever will disturb them, and you're using this area to hide out, you're going to have to be very quiet because they'll hear everything that goes on in there. Or just sit out on the balcony, patio. It's not a balcony, it's in the front. So it's like actually a walkway. We did not have a patio or a balcony in our room. The rooms have plenty of lighting. The beds have very thick and fluffy pillows. Now, this can be a good thing or a bad thing depending on how you sleep. So just know you may want to bring a pillow if you're a stomach sleeper or a back sleeper. Side sleeper should be just fine. Because those thicker pillows are going to keep your neck fairly straight, and that will serve to keep you from having really bad neck pain the next day at the park. I am a licensed massage therapist. I deal with this kind of thing all the time. People go on trips, they come back, they say, I slept wrong. No, that's what aggravated it. And, you want to try to minimize that. One cool feature I did not notice when we checked in, though, were these little reading lights built into the bed frames, which, if you're getting up at the crack of dawn trying to get those lightning lanes, multipass queues, virtual queues, these are a great addition because they put out enough light to where you can see what you're doing, but they're not so much light that they're going to wake up everybody in the room. Maybe the person directly next to you, but not the entire room. Just depends on how sound of a sleeper they are. And let's be honest, if you're booking lightning lanes, trying to get virtual queues and multipass, you're probably going to want that person sleeping right next to you, if it is your spouse, to wake up and help you. So with these lights, you don't have to jump out of bed and turn on the main lights, unless your bladder makes you get out of bed. You can stay there, be comfortable, get these things booked, and then get up and get ready if you're going to do early park entry. If you're going to do rope drop, or if you're going to have a later day, hey, roll over and go back to sleep. You don't even need to get out of bed, and you won't disturb anybody. There are plenty of drawers for storage, a mini fridge. Now, these are actually mini coolers. They're not fridges, which means they are only designed to go to a certain temperature, and I believe it's something like 47 degrees. It's generally a little bit warmer than a household or an RV fridge, but it is cool enough to keep those things drinkable and or from spoiling for a couple of days at least. All in all, the rooms seemed pretty standard when you're comparing it to most moderate hotels, but with the added touches like the decor, the Disney decor, and the Hey Disney feature, which that is Hey Disney, not Hey Mickey, thank God. I felt like it was more closer to a higher end hotel. Let me rephrase that. I felt like it was closer to a higher end hotel not on a Disney property, versus a moderate Walt Disney World resort, obviously. You know, the moderate resorts kind of get up there with some of the more, I don't want to say swanky, but some of the more feature-laden hotels that you can check into. Now, the Grand Destino Tower opened up in 2019, and it was incidentally the last time a moderate resort received a major add-on. At the time of this video, there are a bunch of things going on at Disney in 2024 and 2025. The Grand Destino Tower added 545 rooms, including its 50 suites and club level rooms. It also boasts a club level lounge, Kronos, which I did not visit because one, we had really limited time and we're barely even at the hotel, and two, we are not DVC members, so no chance of getting in. But reviews of the lounge that I've read state that it's the least expensive of the club level hotels, while being among one of the better ones. So there's a good trade-off there. The lakeside setting of Central American themed Coronado Springs gives you a feeling that you aren't right down the road from a major theme park, much like many of Disney properties. They really do a great job separating resorts from parks, unless, of course, you get a park view room. There are several restaurants and lounges, a 24-seat boardroom, a flex space that can be divided into 3 rooms. You have your choices between casitas, the 3 to 4 story rooms in the main part of the hotel, ranchos, the 2 to 3 story Pueblo-style villas, Lago Dorado, which boasts rooms in a 2-story cabanas, and of course the Grand Destino Tower. There are 3 pools, one of which has a Mayan-styled pyramid with a water slide and a playground. And if the sheer size of the resort intimidates you, there is an internal shuttle system that can take you to different areas within the resort complex. Granted, these are simply marked golf carts, but they are there if you need them. Personally, I did not see them, but as I stated earlier, we were barely at the hotel and I wasn't really looking for them anyway. So we were there for an extremely limited time, and we didn't use many of these amenities aside from the buses to the parks. But if we were there to stay for an extended period of time, like at least a week or so, we would have likely at least used the laundry facilities and maybe the shuttle, the internal shuttle, the golf carts, if for no other reason than to see how easy it is to use it. For us, though, it was all about not needing to drive, park, and move when hopping from park to park, and that 30-minute early entry, of course, which doesn't sound like much, but it helps knock out some of the more popular rides early on before the lines start to build up. But of course, I did not utilize the resort to its full potential. So if you've been here before and you feel there is something people need to know, please post your experience in the comments below. Now, the age-old question, would I stay here again? Absolutely. Aside from what sounded like a kid jumping around in the room next door, it was peaceful, it was quiet, it felt tropical. All in all, I'd say it's a great place to unwind from the hustle and bustle of the parks themselves. I hope this video answers some of your questions about what to expect at Coronado Springs and helps you planning your next trip to Walt Disney World. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and even share if you feel the need to. Thanks for watching, and I will see you down the road.
Let's hit the road.